Bitcoin holds on by its fingernails to $92,000 as we speak. Over the weekend, we've seen some nasty crashes. Our thumbnails and titles all last week were flash crash coming. Here it comes. Here's the big one. Well, is this the bottom? My God, we're going to take a look. It's been a fast-moving morning. We got some of the best altcoins to check out today and a fantastic guest coming from the middle of the country, really kind of the desert of the country, the gambling hub of the United States, joining us on the show today to go over a great portfolio overview and crypto almanac on what they're letting the people know, the retail know before the getting's good, folks. We got a great show in for you today.
Yes, sir.
We also have Isaac.
Always here, ready to run the board, run the sticks, get after it. Happy Monday. I'm alive. I'm not dead inside.
You live to trade another day.
I live to trade another day, even though I was $200 from getting liquidated. Is great.
I took $1,000 haircut on that trade.
Yeah, you took
I just had to cut it loose. Like Bitcoin just tumbling downhill. Honestly, the main portfolio not acting too bad, but the rest of the markets, boy, howdy, are we getting a reset here. So Bitcoin coming in at $92,006. Ethereum, $3,300. Are we going to see $2,900 Ethereum here soon? Ethereum just cannot catch a break. Oh, shit. Did you guys plan on using IRS safe harbor form for next year's taxes? Why or why not? Nautical N8. Honestly, I use Coin Tracker and give it to TurboTax. It's all automated. It's pretty easy for me. But shout out IRS safe harbor. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Tech Bros, thanks for the gifted membership. Tech Bro, appreciate that. So the markets, Ethereum, $3,300, XRP, $2 flat. Is this the end? Honestly, if you've been holding XRP for 7+ years, you're happy to see this level. BNB still flirting around with this $700 level. Honestly, just a scratch. Solana got to get above that $200 mark, right?
Please.
Crypto Steve-O owes us lunch.
He still owes us lunch, but we've been highlighting a bunch of stuff on Twitter, talking about why people think it's undervalued and it's actually going to be one of the biggest movers of this cycle.
Yeah,
so you gotta watch out for Solana. It's coming up close.
I mean, the bearish take I have is that it only doubles, right?
And that's not that bearish if you're looking at it.
How dare I say it? But you know what? Let's get the man, the myth, the legend, up on the show with me today. Dave from Sin City Crypto. How are you doing, man?
Hola.
That's one hell of a background you got going on for you right there. What are you in the Matrix?
Kind of. It feels like it after all the money we spent. We're constantly reinvesting our money into the studio, and so my co-host had a bright idea of, hey, we got an extra $70K laying around, right? Let's put an LED wall behind us, and so
looking good.
Yeah, we kind of. Yeah, have you been to our studio in
Dude?
Vegas?
I have not. I have not been to your studio in Vegas. I'm hoping to be at your guys' your
May, right?
potential party. I've heard whispers of a party. There's some people asking me to do a duet with Piano Matty B at the place. I don't know if that's even on your radar or not, but people are asking me to play some music out there. Who knows? I had a dream that I've joined a metal band.
This is Vegas. Money really buys anything. You mentioned the gambling capital. We're like the poly market of the U.S., right? We're like the poly market where everyone comes in and gambles. We're like the Solana of the West Coast.
Like that.
It's true.
Thanks for having me, dude.
No, absolutely. And I'm glad to finally be able to collab with you guys. Now, Dave, the markets, they're reeling, right? And we did see, I would just kind of want to bounce some of the latest news. The biggest news that I saw right before we went live was that Hong Kong a lawmaker in Hong Kong is proposing adding Bitcoin to their national reserve to boost their financial security. Is this too good to be true, right? We see the dip, and honestly, I feel like it's just a short-term market reset. But now we're seeing Hong Kong, the financial hub for China, the number one competitor to the United States, trying to roll out this conversation. Do you think China will take it as far as the U.S. has so far? Because Cynthia Loomis has a hard-sided bill on the books. We have S4912, Cynthia Loomis out of Wyoming, representative there, laying it down, and actually it's been positively received by the incoming Trump administration so far. Do you think that Hong Kong is now incentivized to keep up with the United States in potentially adding Bitcoin to its national reserves and into the year 2025?
Well, here's the thing with with all these, you guys got to remember, this is lawmakers, right? Like anyone can propose a bill. Now, whether that gets adopted or not or put into law, that's a different story. You saw what happened in Japan. You had a lawmaker want to do a Bitcoin strategic reserve bill, and they kind of shot it down, right? You see in the whole Microsoft scenario where they're like, hey, let's put it on our balance sheet. They put it to a vote. Only like 0.5% voted in favor. And so, but you're seeing the U.S. effect when the president-elect of the country, and you actually have a bill, you mentioned the Cynthia Lummis bill, when you actually have those things that are in play, you're going to get other countries like, well, they're looking around. A lot of the world copies what the U.S. does, and a lot of what we do here financially impacts the world. And so it's the 1980s arms race, but instead of, ballistic missiles and nuclear weapons, it's this digital currency known as Bitcoin. And so only time will tell. Now, I think this thing will ramp up if this bill actually passes, or if, let's say, Donald Trump signs an executive order somehow, taking the first step of, hey, we're not selling any of the Bitcoin that we currently hold, with the treasury. We're not going to sell that. On top of that, we're going to put in a plan to buy more Bitcoin. I think at that point, it'll go from just people proposing it as law to some governments who maybe don't run like ours do, that can just have one authoritarian ruler say, you know what? Yeah, we're going to start buying it. When you have countries like Japan, Korea, the US, it goes through a legislative process, branches of government. Some countries, it's a swipe of a pen, it happens. And so I think you're going to start seeing that happen. You're going to see the USA effect of a Bitcoin reserve really take over the world. That's going to happen starting January 20th when Trump is actually sworn into office and things are in play. Right now, everything is just an idea, just speculation. Nothing concrete has happened, right? And so I think time will tell, but definitely exciting times, man.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up some pretty key points there. It's like the America effect, competing nations that want to keep up with the economy / try to outpace the U.S. They do try to fade what the United States is doing. We are seemingly a little bit further down the road than China is. I mean, they're just coming off a fresh ban. They just lifted the ban. Now the mainland of China is still trying to get legally used to access and the ability to mine Bitcoin again, right? They turn the tap on at the top of every market. It feels like it's insane how China times it out. But now we even see things like AI firm. There's an AI company called Genius Group that bought another $10 million of Bitcoin. And over the past few weeks, we've seen a pile of different, traditionally traded public companies adding Bitcoin to their treasuries, or even the conversations. You mentioned Microsoft. They said hard no. Only 0.5% said yes. But it's almost like a Michael Saylor effect. We talk about the America effect, but the Michael Saylor effect rippling through Wall Street. We see this AI company adding it to its balance sheet. But on the heels of that, where even with all of these buys, even MicroStrategy coming out, Michael Saylor bought another $200 million of Bitcoin when it was $97,000. But MicroStrategy is down. Today, it is down 45% from its all-time high just a month ago. Is there a massive risk to having MicroStrategy be kind of this poster child for Bitcoin for Wall Street? Like if MicroStrategy falls, would you think that Wall Street's going to kind of shut the doors to their treasury access to Bitcoin and wait for the dust to settle? Is this too much risk for Bitcoin?
That's a good point. I talk about this all the time, and, we all celebrate, and he bought more Bitcoin, good for our bags. But the guy's like, he's got what, 2% of the supply almost?
Yes, 2%.
2% of the supply. It definitely puts me a little at unease, right? Everyone having a little bit gray. We're talking about this scarce asset. Like, why would you want one company or one person to control? And I'm not saying this is going to happen. Let's say 15, 20% of it, or 20% of the volume that moves in the Bitcoin market. I think at some point, people are going to look and say, it's getting a little too risky for us. And then also on the other side, you're getting the bears and the shorts saying, one wrong move or one liquidation, or I don't know, one of their custodians, something happens. So like one thing goes wrong and this thing starts going down, it'll go down really, really fast, really hard. And so you're going to have that short side pressure as well. But I don't know, man. Anything can happen. Saylor could die and the new person comes in is super anti-Bitcoin. You can get shareholders just all of a sudden just have a change of heart and say, you know what, this is not something we want. And, like, I don't know how the intricacies exactly of how shareholder percentage works and who has the most. I think Saylor has a pretty big voice with MicroStrategy as far as from a shareholder standpoint. He owns a lot of the
holds
stock.
Personally a lot of Bitcoin personally beyond that. And this is something very important you're bringing up. Like, what happens after Saylor's gone? Like, the next guy that's in charge of MicroStrategy, or gal, but it's probably going to be a guy. Now, the personal stack of Michael Saylor, he's hinted at letting just evaporate, letting his keys just evaporate and being part of the burn mechanism of Bitcoin, trying to add to that. Do you think that's true, that Michael Saylor will just let his personal stack vanish into the mist just to push the ethos of scarcity forward? Or is he going to hand it under the table to someone that he likes?
I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but he doesn't have any kids, right?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So, like, you and I both have kids. And so everything, at least I'm speaking for me, I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for you, but everything we do in our lives as a parent is for our kids, right? To make our kids' lives better. And so the Bitcoin I plan on holding forever is going to get passed down to my children. Now, what they decide to do with it is going to be completely up to them. My job is going to be, as they grow up, to kind of teach them and help them understand it and why it's important to have it. They decide that when I die and they get it, that they decide to sell it, then so be it. But with Saylor, I can totally believe that. I mean, Saylor went on a podcast with PBD, Patrick Bet-David, and there was one question PBD asked him. It was about, who do you think Satoshi is? And his reaction and response was very telling. You could tell this guy is not just financially invested in Bitcoin, but I think he's very emotionally invested in it as well. So wouldn't surprise me at all. He wants to give back to the Bitcoin community, give back to the Bitcoin network, and either simply donate that to Bitcoin research or some developers, or, like you said, just burn the keys and that Bitcoin is gone forever, just like Satoshi's wallet. So we presume it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big question on mind. Is he really? I mean, bringing up a potential that he gives it to a company that he likes, like you mentioned. You would think he does that, but he does not have any children. So, and you're darn right. Everything I do in crypto is to make my kids' lives better. He doesn't really have that driving factor going for him per se. Quite a lot to be questioned here. Now, you mentioned Michael Saylor holds over 2% of the supply, as far as MicroStrategy goes. But we also see BlackRock and the ETF control of it. It's not necessarily BlackRock, the company, that's buying its own ETFs at large, though they have bought a little bit of the pie. But BlackRock is approaching a 3% of the Bitcoin supply holding in a very, very short amount of time. It took a year. Now, previously, even back, it is dated. I've had some inside convos with people that worked with Larry Fink. He was bullish on Bitcoin, Solana, all those other types of cryptos, all the way back to 2021. But on the public eye, Larry Fink was anti-Bitcoin all the way up until right about a half year before the ETFs got approved. Do you think that BlackRock and this consolidated control of Bitcoin and ETFs is basically leaving us to the point where the Bitcoin and crypto bull market is completely beholden to how Wall Street feels about the cryptocurrency asset class at large? Or is crypto bigger than, because it feels like we've been captured and married to TradFi, to Wall Street now. Are we truly married to Wall Street? We see this tax harvesting going on right now. That is pulling us back down to the 90K level. Because in my mind, there leaves a lot of risk for that. Wall Street hitting extreme all-time highs. The basically 12, 13% of all of Wall Street relies on NVIDIA at this point.
Right.
Do you think that we will ever see a dissociation between Wall Street and Bitcoin again now that these ETFs are in place?
That's a really good question, man. I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know is when anything goes wrong economically, right? Who's the first to get injection of capital? It's Wall Street. Mm-hmm. So one thing I do think Wall Street will allow or will do, the effect it'll have, I think the bear markets will be less steeper, but I also believe the bull markets will be less volatile as well to the upside. The way it works with these hedge fund managers and these portfolio managers is they have a set percentage allocation. And so if you say I'm allocating 5%, if a hedge fund like a $100 billion hedge fund says we're allocating 5% of our entire net assets to Bitcoin. Right. But what happens when Bitcoin's price goes up? That 5% might go up to 6, 7, 8%. What do? They readjust back down to 5%, meaning they have to sell. On the flip side, though, when Bitcoin's price drops and that allocation goes from 5 to 3.5 or 4%, they go in and buy to bring it back up to 5. And so you're going to see at large scales rebalancing of portfolios and of allocations to the point where I just don't know if we're going to see those, 20, 30x's from Bitcoin. And obviously, the law of diminishing returns says that as the market cap grows, you're not going to see those, 1,000, 10,000% moves to the upside. There'll be a lot smaller moving forward. But I think at the end of the day, I think Bitcoin becomes less volatile and trades more like gold. Yeah. Maybe not as boring because it's a 24/7 market. We don't really have any government intervention. It's funny, and this is a little off topic, but not really. Is a lot of people complain and point to one of the reasons they don't invest in crypto is because it's very volatile. I would like to point something out. If the TradFi markets, if Wall Street did not have government or Fed intervention at every small sign of something going wrong or something going down, and the markets just played out like they would, you'd see even more volatility in the TradFi markets than you do in crypto.
100%.
And so crypto, we don't have the benefit of, oh my God, FTX is going under, the second largest exchange in the world. Did anyone step in? Did the Fed step in? Did the Treasury step in? Did anyone give money to prop that company up and not let investors go sour? No, they didn't. But they do it in Wall Street. And so the whole volatility is too volatile for me. I don't know, man. This is the way free markets work. I think crypto is the perfect sandbox, the crypto market, the Bitcoin markets, of how markets would look if there was no government, no Fed, no Treasury intervention. And so as Saylor says, volatility is definitely a feature for Bitcoin and crypto versus, something that kind of holds it back. That's at least my perspective. And so I don't know.
I like it. You know what? And I can tell you're pumping Bitcoin by your speech here. We just gained another $1,000. We're at 99 or 92.9. So that's great. Dave, you got a product. Sin City, I saw, you're fine. Crypto Almanac. And I've seen this floating around my feed on Twitter. What are you guys up to? What is the Crypto Almanac? If you can, give me a synopsis on what Sin City is rolling out here, because from the looks of it, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, this was all started as a joke by Rob, my co-host. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a Crypto Almanac. I'm like, what's an almanac, dude? It's the farmers thing where every year they get a like forecast of the weather so they know what to do with their crops. And so it started off as a joke, and then I started joking with people we brought on the show. And I asked Charles Hoskinson and did an interview with him and the guy Altcoin Daily and Kyle from. So anyways, we decided to say, you know what? Why not? No one's done it before. We know there's books about crypto, but there's not really been like a comprehensive magazine guide. And so we took that, we made it into reality. We hired a really expensive magazine editor. And so the idea behind this was, as crypto goes more mainstream, I know, like Drew, I'm sure you can attest to this as well, how many times you get texts or messages from people that want to learn about crypto. What should I buy? What's good? What's not good? And so we're like, hey, what about having a magazine that's got a full breakdown of everything from Bitcoin dominance, some important rules of crypto, sectors broken down, what are some of the best AI plays? What's the potential for that? And then also to take the top 100 coins and really give them a ranking and grading, right? Based on, what's their decentralization level? What does the scalability look like? The community, the tokenomics, the security. And so we put all that together. We created an almanac. It's essentially a comprehensive guide for 2025. And then if I'll just pull this up and I'll kind of scroll. This is what the cover looks like.
And you got a photo op with Satoshi.
A lot of good. Yeah, that's Satoshi. Yeah.
Holy God.
We did a interview with Mark Yusko. That's in there. And the cool thing about this one is it's a physical magazine, but it's also gonna have a NFC chip there and a QR code where you can scan it and you'll get a Cardano native NFT that is also a digital reader of the magazine. So if you're out and about and you don't want to take your magazine with you, you can just simply open it up. But just, I'll just kind of scroll down and kind of show you some of the cool things. One of my favorite ones, and I don't want to give too much away here. One of my favorite ones was, I'm going to go back to this really quick. One of my favorite ones was the one about the psychology of the crypto markets, right? We always talk about how
this is a great layout, by the way. I love the layout of this.
Yeah, it's our editor, shout out to Rachel. She's a badass, man. She did a really good job putting this all together. So big shout out to her. But this was one of my favorite ones I did, the crypto market cycle. It's more of a psychological perspective of why money goes from fiat to Bitcoin, and then from Bitcoin to ETH, and then from ETH to mid caps. And so a lot of cool stuff on here. Benjamin Cowan blessed us with, of course, a Bitcoin dominance write-up.
Beautiful.
And so
you have to have Benjamin Cowan talk about that. I was going to ask you, make sure it's Benjamin Cowan, because he is the GOAT.
Yeah, it's definitely Benjamin Cowan, man. And, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of collaboration went into this. And it's just a really, really good guide for 2025 and beyond. It's got some really good reading material in there. And this is 120 pages of just packed. Oh, by the way, for the XRP fans, we had our friend Forrest do an entire XRP write-up. It's a 6-page write-up on XRP.
Okay.
And the potential of it. So just a little sneak peek of what we got for the Almanac. And so, if you're a fan of crypto and you want to learn more, whether, this is your third cycle or your very first cycle, or you have a friend or family member that is interested, I think this is a great thing to get for them. And so, man, that's kind of what we're doing.
Freaking love it, Dave. Absolutely love it. And,
yeah,
I know you guys, you're out there in Vegas. Bitcoin's conference is coming to you. Is there any big plans?
Finally, dude. Finally.
It's going to be crazy. Now, we're probably going to see a bunch of influencers get too hammered and go missing. Maybe the night of
go
the
missing.
But do you guys have any good plans? Like, do you have any big plans set up for your studio or anything like that coming up around the Bitcoin conference?
Yeah, so I can't share too much, but we're actually working with some of the Bitcoin conference people.
Okay,
and so we're looking at getting a large, I don't know if you call it a mansion, but kind of like a hub where people can connect and throw parties. It'll be right by the studio, and so we can just pop in here, film. And so our setup is really geared for stuff like this, where people come into town. Vegas, we always go over the top with everything we do. And so I don't be surprised at some of the things you see.
Right.
You start seeing some crazy Jubilee girls walking around the studio. I don't know. I'm just saying we're expecting a massive turnout, obviously, for the Bitcoin conference. And we plan to be at the forefront of that, kind of coordinating events, getting people together, doing some meetups, connecting with you and the team there. I'd love to have you guys in studio, do some content together. And so, we're super excited. I'm just like, Vegas is the convention capital of the world.
Right.
And it's about damn time we get the Bitcoin conference here. Nashville cool, Miami cool, but come on, man, no one does it like Vegas.
No, I'm excited for it, man. And I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys out there. Now, are we able to do a giveaway for the Almanac? Like, is there a way?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because I think that'd be really, really cool for the people out there watching. What I'm going to do is I'm going to repost your post. You can pull up my screen here so we can show them which post it is, Isaac. Let's pull this up real quick. So I'm going to repost this. This is directly from Sin City Crypto. Got the link to the Almanac here, but repost. I want to see repost for your chance to win a giveaway. And make sure to go to my @DruthCrypto, repost Sin City Crypto, and get your chance for a giveaway from Sin City Crypto. Go back to him. This is going to be fun. I want to see hundreds of reposts on this, man. I want to get this information far and wide. I think what you guys do over there is absolutely awesome. You guys work harder than really most influencers that I know. You show up every single day, and you give great takes on the cryptocurrency markets. And I really respect what you do, man. I'm glad that we could finally collaborate. I remember you hosted this show. I think it was like 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
You and Robin came in here and hosted the show, so it's just good to collaborate with you guys again.
You know what was funny? You know what's funny, dude, is when the very first time, and so on our live show, I take more of the lead, right? And Rob kind of, he does his thing, he gives his takes, but I'm kind of like the conductor, right? And so when we're on the blockchain basement, we're flying out there. I was like, look, I'll take the lead on this. I do it on our show. And so the very first time, the double intro on blockchain basement, when BJ was running the board, he's like, we're live. I'm like, oh, we're live. And then I said I don't know what I said. It was hella goofy. He's like, that's your intro? I'm like, that's the intro, roll it. And then I just went with that the entire week. And then I realized, I'm like, that's not their intro, dude.
Yeah.
So it was just super funny. But honestly, man, when we first visited the studio down there, we were really inspired. I mean, that thing was massive, 40,000 square feet. We always wanted to be different than, the average, hey, pick up a webcam and a microphone. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But like I said, we do over the top everything in Vegas. And so you really, there's certain people who are committed to the space financially, emotionally, and intelligently. And there's other people who just grift and try to extract money from people who follow them. Right. What better way to really say I'm here for the long run than to drop, close to $500,000 in building out an actual studio in the heart of Las Vegas. And so that's what we decided to do. And then when we came and visited you guys, we're like, wow, we were thinking small, we want to think larger. And so drew a lot of inspiration from that and what you guys are doing down there. And so, kind of been friends for 3-4 years. It's been really good. And so, yeah, man, we just appreciate the friendship and we appreciate the collaboration. Definitely need to bring you on our show too, man.
I would love to be on your show, man. And, you guys are doing the right thing. I can tell your hearts and your heads are in it for the right reasons. And, I'm looking forward to being out there. Maybe if you do end up getting the mansion, see if me and Matty B can come crash a show with maybe an Elton John remake of Bitcoin or something like that. Who knows?
As long as you wear that suit he was wearing in the Rocket Man.
100%. Clearly I'm going to wear the suit. That is a gimme.
Yeah, okay. Then you're good, bro. Then we'll make it happen. Okay.
All right, Dave. Well, we got a lot of crazy stuff to cover here on the macroeconomic side. But, brother, appreciate the work you do. And then you're going live at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time daily?
2 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live on YouTube, yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Well, you know what? Talking with you bounced Bitcoin above $94,000. So we might need to do this.
You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. I'm here all day. Just kidding.
All right, brother. I'll see you soon, Dave.
Appreciate it, Drew.
Peace
Thanks,
out.
Brother.
What a guy. He pumped the markets back up. I was like, shh, shh, shh. He did it.
I know, too bad I wasn't in my trade, though.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
Really?
It's okay. At least the market's pumping. That's all that matters. Everyone's bags are doing fantastic. But no, what a great guy.
Someone was asking for my portfolio, too, to see how bad my portfolio got beat up. Let's take a look. My genius wife and all of her intelligence here with her Paric token. Parse IQ. I call it Parsic because I want to be ironic like the Pokemon, but it's Parse IQ. Yeah. This thing's up by 10% again today. Unbelievable. She's killing me on this thing. MAGA meme coin still holding it because I'm a psychopath. Up by 4.8%. Pi, that's fake. If this was real, it'd be hundreds of thousands of dollars for me. That's why I know it's not real. I should probably take it off. But I got to keep track of it in case they ever make the tokens tradable on an exchange.
Yeah.
So that's why that's on my portfolio, but it really doesn't count for much. Swell Network up by 2%. Ethereum, I hold a small amount of Ethereum up by 1%, but this is getting sketchy. We're getting near $3,000. Jupiter still at the 80-cent mark here. Avalanche, $36. Constellation taking a ride downhill. Recently was at 9 cents. Now we're at 5 cents. So that's not feeling great. My average buys are at 2 cents, so I'm not too bad. And just for context, like all my buys on Avalanche, $10. Jupiter, all my buys on this are at 70 cents. Ethereum, this is old Ethereum I bought for $180. Swell Network is actually down from my entry point, so this one is in the negative for me. MAGA meme coin, I am literally slightly down. My average buy is $2 on MAGA meme coin, but you know what? I talked about it a bunch when it was at a couple $1 million market cap. I ended up getting some myself. Still going to be holding into Inauguration Day, see what it's capable of doing for that time frame. Injective. Now, the average buys on Injective are $17. I'm only up by a small amount. It's at $20 currently. Still a big believer in Injective and the upside potential of it in the bull market. It's number 59 in size of market cap. Near Protocol has been one of the more aggravating ones in my portfolio. This is the 4th largest holding I have, and it has been underperforming like crazy compared to the other projects, but I am still staying based, waiting for that NVIDIA March timeframe in 2025 to see the fireworks for Near Protocol. Shadow Token, one my wonderful wife brought up to me as a potential grab, and I did buy a bag over the weekend here. I think it was on Friday. Overall, Shadow Token looks like a nice entry point for me. And this is a D-pin play. It is on Solana. And it's at $107 million market cap with nearly the entire circulating supply out. It's only got a few more million tokens to go. Shadow Token, D-pin plays, Solana ecosystem. It had a couple good things going for it on top of the general tokenomics that it's experiencing now. And it looked like a pretty viable level. You see the original pump 2 moment here in June of 24. We fell back down to that level recently and are sitting here playing around. And essentially, I feel like this is going to play out to being a shelf. So I did pick up a bag of Shadow Token as well. Thanks, Blockchain Basement, for the 411. Drew, what are your thoughts on Grass Network? Would you buy it? George, I am not buying Grass Network. I'm not buying Grass Network because of the accounts that I saw the shilling originate out of make me feel uneasy. So that is why, I mean, it might be a great project that they just happen to finally promote a good project from. Maybe that's the case. Mm-hmm. But in general, no, I'm not going to be buying any Grass token. Let's go back to the portfolio here. Let's check it out. So we go here. We go from the gainers to the losers. That's here. So Near, been underperforming. Cardano, I bought it for the culture. Slightly down, honestly, because I bought this thing at 30 cents, sold the bag at 60 cents, then I rebought a new bag at $1. Now we're at 86 cents, whatever. IO.net, this is distributed GPU ecosystem for Solana. And I am slightly up on this one. It's down by 1.3%. Chainlink, my biggest portfolio piece, still holding above $20. So that feels pretty damn good, honestly.
Very nice.
The average buy on Chainlink for me, because I've been building this bag over cycles, is about $3.90 as it sits right now. And honestly, I'm feeling great. Seeing it at $21, I'm feeling fine. Aether is very similar to IO.net in distributed GPU class, but Aether's revenue is extremely high compared to the token valuation. So I feel that Aether has a lot of good upside for it. You know me and my Constellation DAG. Akash Network, part of the shill package for Grayscale, and at these levels, I do feel comfortable adding more. Moonwell, not mooning very well. This thing was at 10 cents recently. It's back down to 5.8 cents. This is my buy level for Moonwell, is essentially where it's sitting right now. I am of the opinion that things are heavily oversold in general for altcoins and Bitcoin. But Moonwell, you can see on the year, this thing was recently pumping real good. We are up to the original pump 2 moment. Thus, this is my buying level. The last one is right here. So I am comfortable adding to this position from where it sits right now. Let's check out Bitcoin, because there is something that I just want to take note of here on Bitcoin. This run up right here, if we, in my humble opinion, I think we're fine seeing Bitcoin fall all the way down into the $89.5 thousand spot. Should we lose $89,500, buckle up for a massive price reset, because there is very minimal volume between these 2 points right now. I am of the opinion that we are going to be able to hold this shelf above the $90,000 spot, but the critical spot to watch out for a massive price reset is at that $89,500 level, just particularly on Bitcoin. We all know altcoins like to follow it. Back to the portfolio here. This is kind of fun just to see, this is where I'm at. I can complain about my bags, FUD my own bags, talk about the things that are going well. Drift. You bought more Drift last week, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought like 100 more tokens for the Drift.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I mean, a little down from that buy, but I mean, overall,
yeah,
I'm still up by a lot.
Yeah, it's $1.27 right now. $1 to $1.25 is where I feel like that floor level is for Drift. Not a bad spot for it. XRP, the tokens I found in between the couch cushions.
Nice.
Doing great. Still to above $2. Ondo, $1.37. Ondo is just at $2. So this is a good haircut on Ondo. I don't think that Ondo is going anywhere except for up in coin market cap rankings. So, and there's a few reasons for this. Is because of Paul Atkins being put into the charge seat of the SEC. Paul Atkins, part of the securitized board, and real world asset conversations are really going to be a very powerful thing in the bull market of 2025. So, I know that I came to work just frazzled, dazzled, wondering about what the hell is going on in Bitcoin. But as long as we're generally holding above the $90,000 spot, I think that really these buy levels that we're seeing right now are generational entry points. So Ondo, honestly, at a place where I might actually want to buy some more of it. Aerodrome Finance still holding up at $1.44. This is insane to see. Aerodrome is my second biggest holding. So that's kind of crazy. Pudgy Penguins, bought it for the culture, basically where I bought it at. Morpho, this one has been the strongest. Oh yeah, and look at this. We did a video on Fallon Network, like about, I think it was like a year ago or something. Let's look at this thing, because I put it on my watch list. I don't own any of these tokens, but I was covering it as a bullish buy. I think about a year ago. Look what it did. Check this out. Let's see if it updates here. Is it going to come over?
No, it didn't work last Friday. No, it's not coming over yet.
All right. Well, pull it up again. There it is.
There we go.
Look at this shit. So Fallon Network, absolutely insane. Super degen, small market cap play. Looking like it wants to start going berserk. So Fallon Network is one that has definitely caught my eye once again. It did have that little March pump too, but what it's showing right now, just in the last few weeks here, really the last few days, is an insane upside movement. So going to be watching this one a little bit more closely. And if you caught that deep dive all the way back in the day, you're doing very well. Drew, your name rhymes with goo. This is true.
That is very true.
Very true. Let's see here. ATA, Aether, Spec, Arrow, Well, Link, AVAX, Render, Fetch, Near. Which should I get more of at the lower average price right now? For Brian Wild. I mean, Aether, I feel like is very undervalued.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
We covered Aether's revenue last week. It's insanely high compared to the price of the token. I'd say either like Aether, Well, Chainlink, I still feel like is extremely undervalued too. Even at $20, I'd be kind of choosing from that pile.
You know what my hot take is?
What's your hot take?
Fetch is undervalued.
You think so?
I think it's going to be one of the first very successful mergers this cycle. That's my opinion. So plus I hold a pretty big bag of it. So.
You own a big? I have a small bag of Fetch, so I'm like slightly exposed to it. If what you're saying is true, maybe you're right though.
I could be, but I also could be wrong. It's just my opinion.
Yeah. What a cop out.
All right.
Unbelievable. I'm just kidding. Now, look at this. This is the sentiment right now on Bitcoin. We dipped by 12%, and retail investors are already starting to quit, folks. This is retail going back into the hell of which they came. Now, this is the Google interest over time of Bitcoin, and the search is for, this is where you see normies. Do we have an influx of normies having interest in Bitcoin? And right now, this interest is falling off a cliff as the prices take a slight turn to the downside. Now, this is actually pretty good in terms of widening the amount of runway that we have in the bull market of 2025. This makes me want to go check out the Pi Cycle Top indicator here. Let's check it out, get an update on this, see where we are sitting here. I'll pull this up. Let's see here. So the Pi Cycle Top indicator, go full screen on this so we can get a good view. Bam. Okay. So what are we looking at here? I'm going to scoot this over to the side. If this band has opened up even more, this has given us more runway. And honestly, this is looking pretty wide open. I'll pull this all the way over so you guys can see that. That looks like we have plenty of room for activities on the Pi Cycle Top indicator. I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. And honestly, this pullback that we've seen, it's pretty normal in bull market history. Really, the thing that threw me off the hardest was pulling back into the 1618 fib, but now we have more of a stronger, hard-sided marriage to Wall Street with these ETFs. They're much more equipped and experienced when it comes to tax loss harvesting. So that's probably playing into the downturn that we see happening right now. Now, we have a lot of ground to cover here. We got Tether adding another $700 million of Bitcoin to its reserves. Thus, all the FUD that you saw last week, Tether going to be taken out, pretty damn false. There's a reason for that, and let's go into it here. Well, actually, this is different reasons, but the problem with these new rules isn't the one-on-one backing. It's a 30% reserve requirement in TradFi banks. Low lost cash flow. Tether earns massively from U.S. obligations, short-term bonds, but this rule cuts into that stream. They're having to become more married with traditional finance, which is lowering their profits. Now, the regulator's irony, the 30% rule is meant to guarantee solvency, yet the banks themselves are prone to runs and collapses. Tether's strategy, they use profits from short-term bonds to reinvest in Bitcoin, creating a more resilient system outside of fiat dependency. This isn't about solvency, it's about control. Now, this brings up something very, very important that I do feel like we're going to sit here and look at, is the marriage between TradFi and crypto actually had played out to a very negative way over a pretty recent history here. We're going to back up to March of 2023. Now, March of 2023, you get this. Where is this? Go all the way back. This is me ripping my mind off the top of the rip because I pay attention 4 years on end. It's my job to literally do this day in and day out. But on March 14th of 2023, you had 3 regional bank collapses in the United States. One of those banks, I think it was Silicon Valley, had a large amount of value for Circle held within the banks. Right? Okay. So the dip I'm showing you is actually before the banking collapse happened. When the banking collapse happened, instead of going to 10K like all the bears were sure Bitcoin was going to do, they're like, all right, we're going down here. Bitcoin decided to go up and to the right, and honestly never even revisited that price level at $19,000 from that time frame. But what we saw on USDC, because they were forced to be married to TradFi and the banking infrastructure in and of itself, was a depegging at that same time frame. I'll see if it shows it here on the all time. There it is. Look at that. March of 2023. It'll pull up here in a second.
Yeah.
March of 2023, USDC, because a large amount of their backing was held within that bank that went under, actually caused the coin USDC to become depegged. Is this ever going to come over?
No.
Is it ever going to come over?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. It should. It's showing my thing move around. Let's see if I can refresh this. Because this is important. This is context of the dangers of being married to TradFi. Very odd that it's not showing this.
All right.
It's showing it on my screen. Here it is. Pull it up. There it is. All right. So this was that banking collapse for Silicon Valley. Circle holding its value within a traditional bank actually helped the USDC stablecoin become depegged. Over the course, it was maybe a day or two when it happened. I was like, holy shit, is this the end of crypto as we know it? Because a lot of value is held on USDC, and this was a very sketchy moment. Now, seeing Tether, by the MiCA regulations, be forced to get more married to traditional finance makes me very, very uneasy. Not for now, but for 2026. This is why I think about these things in the long term. God, the dog is killing me. All right. So we also did see some good stuff happen for Tether recently as well. Rumble looks like is partnering with Tether and strengthening their position into 2025. This is going to be a very interesting relationship between Rumble and Tether. And I'll be tracking that pretty closely because I support both platforms. And shout out to everyone that's watching us on Rumble. Fallen Jester, Fawcett Stone, King Kernels, thank you very, very much for your support. King Kernels, I believe the Almanac is like 10 or 15 bucks, but don't quote me on that. Also, go to my Twitter and repost so that you can get a chance to just win one for free. And make sure you're supporting the Sin City Crypto Boys. They work hard over there. So now, let's get into the chaos. Let's get into the macro. The Treasury and IRS have finalized their DeFi broker tax reporting rule. Trading front ends would have to track and report on user activity, both the United States persons and non-US persons, beginning of 2027. So we have some time till this happens, but it looks like it's coming, and it applies to the sale of every single digital asset, including NFTs and stablecoins. All cost, no benefit for the revenue perspective. First, a lawsuit would be filed claiming that the rule is beyond the authority of the Treasury and violates the Administrative Procedure Act. Later, the rule will likely come under congressional review, where it can be disapproved of, like the year's vote on this SOB 121 rule. This outgoing administration is not leaving quietly. The fight will continue. We have not won just because Trump is getting into place. The fight will continue in Congress. This is why we have to stay loud and proud about crypto to make sure that we don't get arbitraged out of the system. Now, this from Wall Street. And it's highlighting the work of Peter St. Onge, but he brings up something very, very important. Another $50,000 fake jobs revised away by government statisticians. They were adding fake data during 2023 and 2024 to try to boost Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the economic outlook that these two buffoons claimed to add to the United States. In the revisions, they had also admitted to 818,000 fake jobs being removed from the 2023 data. Now the truth is coming out. Plus, as soon as Trump takes office, expect the entrenched left-wing staff to start portraying the economic data as a negative. We won't find out till much later during the revisions. 1.5 million jobs just vanished, right? They never were there. This is falsified data that was fed to the American public. And, to think that the Federal Reserve didn't know that it was fake, we're fooling ourselves. If we don't understand that Jerome Powell knew the data of the fake jobs was indeed fake, they were still making macroeconomic decisions and interest rate policy changes on that false data the whole time. Now, what it looks like they're doing is handing a pile of steaming garbage to Donald Trump to deal with into 2025, 2026, and this is where my worry comes for Wall Street and a potential cataclysm coming once the true reality of how bad our job market is now and how bad our interest rates, our interest payments are to our debt have become. This is where the cataclysm of 2026 can absolutely spur from. This is why I'm hammering into real estate and tangible assets before 2026 comes. Now, we also have this. Looks like the White House is giving the Ukraine an additional $2.5 billion in aid for weapons. They were just absolutely sending everything that they can into the Ukraine.
So
Will
nice.
not stop.
I love
Feels
our
great.
taxes.
This is what it feels like, right?
Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too. Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil.
That's where our tax dollars are going.
Yeah, all right.
Doesn't it feel good, Isaac?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier when you sent that to me. I was like, yeah, but I love when our tax dollars are being funded in like a two-sided proxy war. It's great.
Oh my God, it's just something else. Now, we are almost over the Biden administration, but seeing the Department of Government Efficiency, come in and claim that they're going to save everything by cutting government jobs, really, there's a larger problem that people face when it comes to getting ahead, owning homes, and winning in this economic environment. And the difference has been exacerbated over the past 4 years. And this is a great explanation of just how bad things have become when it comes to buying a home now compared to 2021. Check this out.
The difference in wealth between buying your home in 2021 versus buying a home today is absolutely insane. In this video, I am going to show you the massive difference in wealth from just buying in 2021 versus buying at the end of 2024. The truly scary thing is, like this comment says, the difference between the millennials and even potentially Gen Z that were able to buy a few years ago and are trying to buy now is just downright nuts. In 2021, the median home price in America was $346,000. 10% down payment would be $34,600. At a 3% interest rate, that mortgage payment for principal and interest only was $1,313 per month. You add up all those payments over 30 years, that person is paying $472,680 for their entire mortgage. Let's fast forward to today. Median home in America is $405,000. The 10% down payment, that's $40,500. If interest rates were 3%, that'd be $1,537 per month. But they're not. 7%, that payment is $2,425.
That's the pain. And so you go from $1,400 to $2,400 a month, right? My current home is at a 3% rate. The one before that, a 2.75% rate. I have no incentive to buy a home using a mortgage anymore at these rates. And the crazy thing about this is that the Federal Reserve has given interest rate cuts to the banks, but the banks are not translating that interest rate cut over to you or me, the people that are here buying mortgages or homes. Instead, the interest rates are actually going up for mortgages while the banks are receiving cheaper money. And this is the result. In 2021, you bought at 3%, $346,000 home, $1,300 a month. Great. You end up paying $472,000 over the life of that loan. Here's what the life of the loan looks like under these new circumstances.
All of those payments added up, that person's going to pay $873,000 for the same exact home as someone in 2021 will pay $470,000.
Brutal. That is the reality. Damn near doubled the problem there. And this is like, I know, Isaac. Okay, I know.
I'm never getting a house.
No, you are.
Just kidding.
You are going to get
Bitcoin. Yeah.
You are going to get a house because you're going to. You know what? We're going to hammer into risk assets. Mm-hmm. We're going to lean into this problem. You're going to buy the house cash. 100%. That's what's going to happen.
100%. I guarantee it.
Yeah. So seeing this storm happen on traditional finance, and really the people that are. I'm middle class, and honestly, if you consider how many children I have, they call me lower class in terms of fiat. I am, one of the top holders of Chainlink, but in terms of cash value, I'm po, right? But there's a reason for that, is because I am so pissed off and tired of how the system is set up to keep people down that it is out of ethos that I get my money out of the current economic system and put it into the most disruptive class of the world, which is cryptocurrency. Now, if I die, I die. But you know what? I only know how to lean into the danger. And if I just keep saving money in fiat, there is no escape for me. Now, President-elect Trump is talking about European Union going to face tariffs all the way if it does not purchase U.S. oil and gas in a large scale. Trump pulling another Trump card. Absolutely crazy. And I expect it to continue. Something interesting a thought came to my mind, right? So I've seen all the controversy with immigrants and Elon and blah, blah, blah. But tariffs. Trump promising tax cuts to the United States through tariffs. Elon relies on a lot of imported raw materials for Tesla. Yeah. Let's say Tesla raw materials now experience 100% tariff from the countries they're leaving. Elon might be having some extreme buyer's remorse. Because, yes, you can be a popular, multi-billionaire, damn near trillionaire, the Howard Hughes of our time, but you are no Trump. And guess what? The only person that is able to negotiate away and stop a literal World War III from happening between Russia is Trump. Putin is not willing to talk to anyone but Trump about stopping the conflict. Let's just be honest with you. So this is a Trump card. Massive tariffs, insulation of the United States economy, tariffs going out to the countries that are trying to pour their goods into our economy. And there is going to be some pain from it. Veteran Crypto, we got to get a Black Side video going. And Veteran Crypto, I no-showed him, as he said. Last night I just couldn't do it. Last night I couldn't do it. Now, when he called me, I was taking care of my birds, taking care of my chicken flock. And I see a lot of news publications coming after backyard flocks, what they call them. People that have a large amount of chickens in their backyard or on their land, over this bird flu deal. The first severe human case of the bird flu in the U.S. shows a concerning mutation, this CDC says. This is them trying their new hand at getting you jabbed up before Biden leaves office. And then we got to be fair, Trump rolled out Operation Warp Speed. And if you let the fear of a virus infect the population's mindset, then as we saw with flu season, the economy comes to a grinding halt, and people, even on the right, demand to be jabbed. And so Operation Warp Speed, yes, as aggravating as it was for me as a Trump voter to see him roll it out, the economy was basically at a standstill because people's internal fears took over, and there was no getting out of it other than offering them an optional jab. Now, the first severe case of bird flu in the U.S. is showing signs of mutation, stoking these fears. The sample taken from the patient in Louisiana showed mutations in the gene responsible while attaching to the host cell. The CDC said Thursday, confirmed a total of an entire 66 human cases. So we have 66 cases in the United States as of Friday. Yet they already feel like talking about rolling out the jab to stop this calamity from happening.
So bad. Oh my God. 66
Oh my God. Don't give up your chickens, folks. Don't give up your chickens. Don't give up the right to produce your own food. For the love of God, food is the ultimate version of control. Now, something that I'm having to keep in mind for the birds is a massive cold front coming to us. It's going to be coming down here. It's basically coming from Canada and starting the 7th through the, I think it's the 11th. This is highlighting the 5th through the 11th, but it is going to get very, very cold. We're going to see extreme negative temperatures all the way down to Missouri here in the United States. And it will be getting into the freezing zone here in Georgia and kind of the lower southeastern U.S. So
does that mean snow?
Maybe
snow in fucking decades.
Maybe, man. Because I was just thinking about that. I went to Cracker Barrel this weekend.
Yeah.
And I look up, they have a sled on the wall. I'm like, since when do you need a sled in Georgia?
Yeah, there's no snow in Georgia.
You look a little bitter about this too.
Yeah.
You're all bundled
because
up, ready for it to snow.
Freaking New York every year after I left, and there was always snow. And it was always great.
See, and I don't miss it because I came from Colorado. It drove me nuts. It drove me nuts.
In Colorado.
But if you have yard birds, just make sure they're warm. I got to go get new heat lamps and all that stuff for them. Look at this Komodo dragon though. So this is my nightmare fuel right here. I did see something that is kind of like Jurassic Park coming up here. Let's go to my bookmarks. And this might be dangerous, but we're going to my bookmark. I see them trying to roll out something like a Jurassic Park.
Oh, nice.
Not here in the United States, but it does look like they're going to be trying their hand with mammoths, starting with mammoths. Let's see if I can find it here. I bookmarked so much stuff here. Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay. So we're Jurassic Park was a movie. Let's see if it comes to reality.
They're planning on starting with, I think, 100 mammoths and putting them in this park in Siberia. They've been doing this experiment on as to what happens when you add megafauna back into the Arctic tundra to offset carbon emissions.
They're using elephant DNA and mixing it with something else.
So they're taking Indian elephants and they're using CRISPR technology and they're using existing mammoth DNA and they're making an embryo and then they're implanting it into the Indian elephant, and 22 months later she will give birth to a real mammoth.
So it's not like a hybrid?
That's a good point. So it is, in the sense of what they do is, if you imagine like the DNA of an animal and then you imagine the fragments that are broken out of it, what they're doing is they're taking that DNA and all those pieces that are missing from the mammoth, they're putting in Indian elephant pieces. So you end up with an animal that is physically and morphologically identical to a mammoth, but has used all of the DNA from the closest living relatives in order to get there. Real life Jurassic Park with purpose.
So I'm going. I gotta go. If they roll this out, I gots to go to
it's
that.
hunting season.
And maybe they'll, the thought that came to my mind is like, what if they implanted, a dinosaur DNA, like in made of dinosaur egg out of a Komodo dragon?
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
That'd be so cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
I know.
That would be pretty cool.
Like T-Rex, real bones, mix it in with Komodo dragon. We have a Komodo Rex.
Oh my God.
Nuts.
But then you end up like, what happens when humans start playing God? And that's where things can get real icky. So here's some top updates here on the altcoin side from DeFi Investor. Obviously, we know the Bitcoin, a little bit of a haircut. Honestly, we're looking pretty good right now. We're at $94,500. Holy shit. Frax. Voting on a proposal to use BlackRock's BIDL as a backing asset for Frax Finance stablecoin ends on January 1st. EMP is a no-code AI agent launchpad powered by Imperial that will go live very, very soon. SWI had $280 million worth of SWI to be unlocked on January 1st. Most of it will go to early investors and contributors. Pendle with a snapshot for an airdrop of Pendle stakers will be taken tomorrow, December 31st. If you're holding Pendle, make sure to have your assets able to be snapshotted for this airdrop. Movement mainnet is confirmed to launch in January. Movement's the first move-based Ethereum Layer 2, and an audit for GammaSwap's Yield token is scheduled for today. Yield tokens will enable users to earn 60 to 80% APY for Ethereum. So watch out for that on the altcoin side. And also this for Velodrome, expanding from $7.5 billion to $22.6 billion in cumulative volume in 2024. Launching on 11th chain with Ink protocol deployment, Superchain liquidity hub thesis playing out. This is a very, very interesting connection to the Kraken Ink protocol deployment. Velodrome is something that's missing from my portfolio. I wonder if we're at a buy point right now with this big market pullback. That is what I'm hoping for. Take advantage of the dips. We buy the dips, we sell the rips, folks. That's how we do it.
Amen.
Man, this looks good. Look at this. So you're really holding pretty strong at this. You know, this is a 2023 triple pump 2 moment here. And then you have a little bit of a stumble point there. Honestly, this is looking like a very, very good short-term shelf for Velodrome. Probably going to have to build a bag at these levels. If I die, I die. But honestly, Velodrome is missing from my portfolio. Seeing a potential that it rolls out as a liquidity hub, super chain for Ink protocol is something that I'll absolutely have to have a piece of exposure to on that. Now, we talk about the AI sector. What's going to be the biggest? It's all about positioning in the AI sector, according to Abu Crypto. There will be a time when anything moons 5 to 10x in a day. It will happen. AI season is coming. And, this is crazy to think about. But really, we're seeing the rollout of AI technology in the year of the bull, 2025, for crypto. So, seeing those combinations of macroeconomic moves, I am not disagreeing with the idea that we could be seeing 5 to 10x's on these AI tokens within a singular day in the near future here. We have NVIDIA's conference in March, which I'm holding obviously all my AI bags up to that point, and maybe even beyond that, but I'm going to be taking a good amount of profits in March on my AI projects particularly, but leaving moon bags to see how they perform into the rest of the bull market year. Nick Dimandi, 90s sitcom enjoyer out here. Elite traders follow him, know his holiday trading so far. He did a 3x on Butthole token. Took out the initials, sending the rest to the full moon. See you at the Lambo dealership soon. 1 billion Butthole is not a meme. This is Nick Dimandi and his chaos getting in early on this freaking Butthole project.
I hope you know how much I hate this.
You can't tell me how much you hate this?
Yeah, because it would take an entire show to bring out my hatred for Butthole token. Okay, I was fine. I was fine with fart coin, okay? I was fine with shit coin and fart coin, but Butthole.
You got no room in your heart for Butthole token?
Nope, I have no room in my heart for the chocolate star.
Oh, man. But, the lesson here, he gets his initial entry, does a 3x on it, takes his initials out, and lets the rest ride to see if he can reach the moon with them. Absolutely riding the lightning out there. And this is the state of the trenches. The dev rugged a coin he made $7 in profit on, recorded it, and posted it, then crashed out as soon as he sees buys coming in after he sold. This is savvy blockchain enjoyers understanding the dev just sold all of his tokens way too effing early, and now they send it to Valhalla. Don't be one of those guys, be in it for the long haul. And also, shout out for XRP enjoyers. JM Bullion, one of my favorite exit strategies. Gold's my favorite stablecoin. The top gold dealer in the United States, JM Bullion, now accepts XRP as a payment method. This is pretty damn cool to see. So, in the 2025 timeframe, when I am planning to take profits, I absolutely do plan on rolling some into gold bullion, as well as real estate. 1 Bitcoin. I'm going to set 100K aside and see if that 100K can buy me a whole Bitcoin in 2026 or 2027. That's the game plan here. And that sounds like an idiot move right now because we're sitting here playing around at like $92,000, $93,000. But I feel like 100K is going to be the floor of the future for Bitcoin after this bull market is done. Honestly, that conversation with Dave at SimCity did wonders for Bitcoin. You guys are welcome. We're back. We are back. No, we still got ways to go. But Honestly, looking pretty good right there. So we'll see if that 92.5 spot or 91.9 ish level was the floor for us, but where we can build on up from here. But it's a beautiful day in the blockchain. I got to go with Veteran Crypto to do more collabs with him, man. I loved being on his show recently. I got to figure out what's up with my camera. When I try to get on his show, my camera won't work for some reason.
Oh, fun.
It works on like everything else, but the Rumble Studio doesn't like when I plug in from my home studio. So Veteran Crypto, if you're out there listening, let's do a test run on your show, like plugging into your Rumble tonight if you're available for it. But I love and appreciate every single one of you out there watching the channel. You guys, we are exploding in subbies here. Where are we at? We are at like 67,800 subs.
Oh, we went up 100 already today.
That's freaking cool, bro.
No, we're pushing up. We're grabbing
cool.
100K.
But yeah, I mean, make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure that you're hitting the notifications bell. Make sure that you're catching all of our alpha as we roll the information out to you. You guys have to understand, we live and breathe crypto. I'm paying attention to literally every aspect, every potential, and even the warnings. I'm here to FUD my own bags, talk about the bags that are going well as it happens, because my job is to stay honest with all of you out there that are in the trenches with me. We're sitting here trying to make a better financial future for ourselves and our loved ones. And really, that is the thesis and the movement of this channel, is to just be good to your crypto neighbor, to take care of each other, and to be that voice of reason when people need it. And now we're going to raid Tom Crown. Make sure you show him some love from the blockchain basement in his show. Give him a shout out. I love and appreciate all of you out there. Veteran Crypto, Jeff Neeb. We got Nicole Tater, Blazenick, Crypto 2 Rich, Kyle Watts, Stacy Lewis, Bitshoe. What do we got? Quarter Crawler, Alden, and down in Rumble, Fallen Jester, Face Tis Stone, and King Kernels. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Take care.